Hello and welcome to today's session. So yesterday we spoke about passage comprehension for Infosys placement. So today I'm going to speak about sentence improvement and spotting errors. These kind of questions will be on higher numbers. There is also a category called theme detection, but you may have 5 to 6 questions, so I want to take that later. Today I want to focus completely on sentence correction and spotting errors in a sentence. Now, in order to be accurate within the given timeline for these kind of questions, you need to know the basics of grammar really well. If your foundation of the grammar is not very strong, you will end up making mistakes. So, how do you deal with these kind of questions? So, when you look at a question, so I am just showing you a particular question here, you will get these kind of questions where the question stem. So, what you see on top, this is a question stem. In this question stem, you will have a particular phrase which will be underlined. Your job is to identify if that particular phrase has any errors. If it has errors, then what is the correct form? If you think it does not have any errors, you will end up choosing option D, which is no improvement required. So, in order to identify if there is any error in this particular phrase which is underlined, you need to read the entire sentence, understand the context and understand how the grammar rule works. Okay? So, let us begin. This is one question which I used as a sample in my orientation session. So, I am beginning with this particular question again. The workers are hell-bent at getting what is due to them. The workers are hell-bent at getting what is due to them. Now, when you use the phrase hell-bent, it cannot be at getting because preposition wise it is an incorrect answer. So, it should be hell-bent upon getting. So, when you have a verb which is hell-bent, hell is an adjective here, bent is a verb here. So, when you have to use a preposition between hell-bent and getting, you need to have the appropriate preposition. So, here the preposition, the correct preposition is upon. The workers are hell-bent upon getting what is due to them. Let us look at the next question. If the room had been brighter, I would have been able to read for a while before bedtime. Now, if you have this situation of a sentence like this, it is a hypothetical situation where you wish the circumstances were different. In this case, you cannot use if the room had been brighter. It should be had. The first word should be had. So, had the room been brighter, I would have been able to read for a while before bedtime. Next question. The poor villagers have waited in the bitter cold for more than 4 hours now. Now, read the entire sentence again. The poor villagers have waited in the bitter cold for more than 4 hours now. Now, when you say have for 4 hours now, that means the time is still continuing. So, this is a present continuous tense. So, if you cannot be using the past tense here, hence have been waiting is the correct answer. The poor villagers have been waiting in the bitter cold for more than 4 hours now. When should you use have? When should you use has? So, you have been waiting and has been waiting. Have is used when your subject is plural. Has is used when the subject is singular. This is a part of subject-verb agreement that you need to understand. I want to quickly demonstrate what do I mean by this. So, subject verb agreement when we talk about, let me get rid of this grid because, so when we talk about subject verb agreement, what exactly we mean? If the subject is singular, use singular verb. Okay. If the subject is plural, use plural verb. This is the rule. So, what do I mean by this? For example, now what is the simplest way of understanding you use the right kind of verb here in terms of subject verb agreement? Okay. If your subject is singular, add S after verb. So, S for singular, S for the letter S applies for singular, right? So, use the letter S at the end of the verb. For example, the cat runs very fast. So, cat is singular here. So, the cat is singular. So, I am using runs. So, you see this runs, I am saying cat is singular, hence you will use an S at the end of the verb. If I say the cats, then I will drop the S. Likewise, the villager has applied for a loan. Now, villager is singular, so I will add an S at the end of the verb. If I change this to villagers, then I will drop the S. I will say the villagers have applied for a loan. Okay. So, remember this, if your subject is singular, add an S at the end of the verb. All right. Now, let us go back. The old man felled some trees in the garden with hardly no effort at all. The old man felled some trees in the garden with hardly no effort at all. Now, hardly no effect does not really make sense, hardly any effort. When you are using the word hardly, you will use hardly any effort. If the sentence was, the old man felled some trees in the garden with no effort at all, then it would have made sense. But since you have the word hardly, you will have to use hardly any effort at all. The company goes to great lengths to ensure that employees can be comfortable in their work environment. Now, employees can be comfortable is not right. Employees are comfortable. Now, please remember one thing very carefully. The word can is an ability. The word can is used in terms of ability. Now, lot of people in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana region I have seen, they use two words together which does not make any sense at all. Say for example, people usually use this sentence, can you able to meet me? Or they say, I can't able to work after 9 p.m. Now, the word, now let me expand this a little bit. Now, the word can't is an ability, you already have the word able. So, you don't need the word again. I can't work after 9 p.m. Likewise, can you write a sentence? Please do not write, can you able to write a sentence? This is wrong. All right. So, can is an ability. Here, the ability doesn't come into the picture. So, the sentence, the correct option is are. The company goes to great lengths to ensure that employees are comfortable in their work environment. I want you to clearly understand that excuses won't do. Now, when we use the word won't do means excuses won't work. I want you to clearly understand that excuses won't do. Now, this sentence itself is accurate. None of these options will actually make sense grammatically. For example, I can't say I want you clearly to understand. No. I want you to understand clearly. Now, clearly is an adverb, understand is a verb. Now, the adverb will have to come first before the verb. All right. He was fined for careless driving. He was fined, no, improvement needed. So, he was fined for careless driving, no improvement needed, because that is fine, because a fine was imposed against him for careless driving. So, these are the kind of questions that you will get in terms of sentence improvement. So, you have a question stem, you have certain phrases, you need to identify if it has a mistake, then you need to pick the right option. Another type of question that you're going to get, and that is spotting error in a sentence. So, the instruction will be fairly simple and straightforward. Here the instruction will read each sentence to find out whether there is a grammatical error in it. The error in any will be in one part of the sentence. The letter of the part is the answer. If there is no error, the answer is D. Ignore the errors of punctuation, if any. So, you will have a question like this. So, this is an example for you. Altogether, A, B and C is one complete sentence. Okay? In either of this, there will be an error. If none of these three have an error, then you choose option D. It's as simple as that. So, let's read this. This is an example for you. We discussed about the problem so thoroughly on the eve of the examination that I found it very easy to work it out. That's the entire sentence. You are basically spotting errors in a sentence. So, in each of the sentence, 3 sentences, you need to spot errors, where the errors are. In this case, the error lies on the first one. We discussed about the problem so thoroughly on the eve of the examination that I found it very easy to work it out. Now, where exactly is the error here? We discussed about the problem thoroughly. We don't need so thoroughly. So, the so is not needed. It's a redundant word. That's why that's the correct answer. Stem A is where the error is. Now, let's look at this. An Indian ship laden with merchandise got drowned in the Pacific Ocean. An Indian ship laden with merchandise. Now, laden with means what? Loaded with. Merchandise means products, different kind of products. Got drowned in the Pacific Ocean. Read the entire sentence again and understand where is it wrong grammatically. You need to combine all the 3 sentences and then understand where the error lies. An Indian ship laden with merchandise got drowned in the Pacific Ocean. Now, the correct answer, or rather the sentence where the error is C, because an Indian ship laden with merchandise drowned in the Pacific Ocean. Got drowned is incorrect. It should be drowned in the Pacific Ocean. Next, if I had known this yesterday, I will have helped him. This is very easy. Please combine all the sentences and try to understand where the error is. If I had known this yesterday, I will have helped him. Now, helped is a past tense, will is future tense. This entire first two part of this sentence is in past tense. So, how can this be correct? That means C is incorrect. All right. I hope you are understanding how it needs to be resolved. So, any part of these three sentences, you need to find an error. If the error doesn't exist, which is quite a possibility, choose option D. Next, a lot of travel delay is caused due to the inefficiency and lack of good management on behalf of the railways. I repeat, a lot of travel delay is caused due to the inefficiency and lack of good management on behalf of the railways. Now, read number C. On behalf of railways? No, nobody else is working on behalf of railways. Railways itself is working. Hence, C is incorrect. It should rather be a lot of travel delays caused due to inefficiency and lack of good management of the railways, not on behalf of the railways. I have got my MSc degree in 1988. I have got my MSc degree in 1988. Please identify which one is the correct answer. If you think A, B, C, all three are correct, then your answer should be D. Read, understand, analyze and respond. I have got my MSc degree in 1988. I have got is incorrect. I got my MSc degree in 1988. So, I got is the correct answer. Hence, sentence number A is grammatically incorrect. That is where you spotted the error. Next, having received your letter this morning, we are writing to thank you for the same. Having received your letter this morning, we are writing to thank you for the same. If you are struggling to find which one has the mistake, don't bother, because none of this sentence stem has a problem. So, that is why it is no error. Having received your letter this morning, we are writing to thank you for the same. That is perfect. Next, if you lend him a book, he will lend it to someone else and never you will get it back. If you lend him a book, he will lend it to someone else and never you will get it back. Please focus on the placement of the words, the word order. The key here is the word order. All the questions, if the word order is incorrect, the sentence is incorrect. So, C is where the error is. If you lend him a book, he will lend it to someone else and you will never get it back. So, the word order there is incorrect. You will never get it back. Next, do the roses in your garden smell more sweetly than those in ours? Do the roses in your garden smell more sweetly than those in ours? Here you need to focus on the comparison. The roses are compared between two different gardens. Okay? So, B is where the error is. It cannot be more sweetly, it is more sweet. Sweetly, so you do not need the word more there. So sweetly itself is wrong. So do the roses in your garden smell more sweet than those in ours? All right. Next, block of residential flats are coming up near our house. Block of residential flats are coming up near our house. This is very easy. A is the correct answer, or A is rather the sentence which has errors. Block of residential flats. It's a block or blocks of residential flats are coming up near a house. So it's a singular plural issue there. The students were awaiting for the arrival of the chief guest. The students were awaiting for the arrival of the chief guest. So here awaiting is a wrong word, it should be waiting. The students were waiting for the arrival of the chief guest. Alright, these are the kind of questions you will get. You need to read all the sentences and identify where the issue is. You need to combine all the sentences to understand. Next, you will get all the information if you read this booklet carefully. You will get all the information if you read this book carefully. You will get all the information if you read this book carefully. This is actually wrong. So it doesn't have an error, so don't worry about it. You will get all the information if you read the book carefully. An animal can be as unhappy in a vast area or in a small one. An animal can be just as unhappy in a vast area or in a small one, which means regardless if the place is small or big, an animal can be unhappy. So C is the answer. This is where the problem is. That is grammatically incorrect. An animal can be just as unhappy in a vast area or a small one. So, or in a small one, this in is not necessary because it's already used here. An animal can be just as unhappy in a vast area or a small one. Next, he is working in a bank in New Delhi for the past several months. He is working in a bank in New Delhi for the past several months. So A is the answer. He has been working in a bank in New Delhi for the past several months. He has been, it's not he is working. The scientist must follow his hunches and his data wherever it may lead. Hunches means a gut feeling. The scientist must follow his hunches and his data wherever it may lead. The correct answer is C, wherever it may lead to. So 2 is missing here. The scientist must follow his hunches and his data wherever it may lead to. A large scale exchange of nuclear weapons will produce unprecedented amounts of radiation that can penetrate into the biological tissue. A large-scale exchange of nuclear weapons will produce unprecedented amounts of radiation that can penetrate into the biological tissue. The correct answer here is C, that can penetrate into the biological tissues. It should be plural there. Next, 60 miles are a good distance. 60 miles are a good distance. Again, the rule of subject-verb agreement comes into the picture. It should be 60 miles is a good distance. The subject here is a good distance. So, this is still a singular. So, this should be is. 60 miles is a good distance. They have been very close friends until they quarreled. Quarrel means fight. They have been very close friends until they quarreled. The correct answer here is they have been. No. Now, have been means present tense. So, they were very close friends until they quarreled. When the dentist came in, my tooth was stopped aching out of fear that I might lose my tooth. When the dentist came in, my tooth was stopped aching. That itself is where the error is. My tooth stopped aching out of fear that I might lose my tooth. So, that is very, very simple. I hope you, when you get these kind of questions, you don't get confused. Next, no sooner did I open the door when the rain heavy and stormy rushed in, making us shiver from the head to foot. No sooner did I open the door means as soon as I opened the door, when the rain heavy and stormy. No, when the heavy and stormy rain rushed in. Okay, you need to use the adverb first. If a man diligently seeks to come into the contact with the best that has been thought and said in this world, he will become simple and unselfish. If a man diligently seeks to come into the contact with the best that has been thought and said in this world, he will become simple and unselfish. The correct answer is A. If a man diligently seeks to come into the contact. Into the contact? No. In contact. All right. You must remember me to post the letter. You must remember me to post the letter. B is the answer. You must remind me to post the letter. Next, I shall certainly write you while I shall reach New Delhi. I shall certainly write you when I shall reach New Delhi. I shall certainly write you when I shall reach New Delhi. It's not when I shall reach, when I reach New Delhi. I shall certainly write you when I reach New Delhi. On the busy ring road, we witnessed a collision between a truck and an auto. Please read carefully. The answer is very simple. On the busy ring road, we witnessed a collision between truck and an auto. The answer is B. It's not collusion, it's collision. These have two different meanings. Collusion means to join together to do something wrong. For example, the police and the politicians, there is a collusion between the politician and the police to safeguard the criminals. That is collusion. Collision means to face each other, to hit each other. We witnessed a collision. It's not collusion. Collusion is a different word altogether. Mr. Praful Patel is not attending his office for the last 1 month. Mr. Praful Patel is not attending his office for the last 1 month. The correct answer here is B. Is not attending his office? No. Mr. Praful Patel is not attending office for the last 1 month. He couldn't but help shedding tears at the plight of the villagers rendered homeless by the devastating cyclone. He couldn't but help shedding tears at the plight of the villagers rendered homeless by the devastating cyclone. Again, word order issue. He couldn't help but shedding tears means instead of shedding, he could not stop shedding tears at the plight of the people. He will certainly help you if you will ask him in a pleasant manner. He will certainly help you if you will ask him in a pleasant manner. So, the word will is repeating here. If he will certainly help you if you ask him in a pleasant manner. The will is not needed here. Will you please buy some jaggery for me if you go to the market? Will you please buy some jaggery for me if you go to the market? No error, it's absolutely fine. Most of the members at the meeting felt that the group appointed by I'm sorry, I'm going to read it again. Most of the members at the meeting felt that the group appointed for investigating the case were not competent to do the job efficiently. Most of the members at the meeting felt that the group appointed for investigating the case were not competent to do the job efficiently. Read again. This is a slightly bigger sentence, so you need to read and understand. Most of the members at the meeting felt that the group appointed for investigating the case were not competent to do the job efficiently. The correct answer here is C. That is where the error is. Please read carefully. The word group is only one group. It's singular. So, instead of were, it should be was. Most of the members at the meeting felt that the group appointed for investigating the case was not competent to do the job efficiently. One more. In spite of several reminders, he did not In spite of several reminders, he did not so far send any reply to me. In spite of several reminders, he did not so far send any reply to me. Very straightforward. B is the sentence where there is an error. He hasn't sent any reply to me. That should be the correct form. So, these are the kind of questions that you will get in terms of spotting an error and in terms of a sentence correction. These are the kind of questions that you will get on your screen. Slide please. So, you need to find if the given phrase is incorrect and you need to replace that with the correct one. Tomorrow I will talk about theme detection a little more. You may get certain questions on preposition. Preposition is basically part of speech that defines the place in terms of geography and time. For example, the bottle is on the table. So, on is a preposition. I am going to watch a movie on my bike. On is a preposition. I will meet you after 5 p.m. After is a preposition. So, preposition is basically denotes the time and place. For example, people get confused between from and since. I'm living in Hyderabad from 2001. No, that is incorrect. It's since 2001 because the time is still continuing. I lived in Bangalore from 2002 to 2004. Now, when I use a from in terms of time, the usage is different. I can use it in terms of place as well. I'm traveling from Bangalore to Delhi. So that preposition becomes in terms of a place. So you need to understand the right context and the right usage of preposition. That will be covered tomorrow. You have a great evening and please do practice. Until you practice, you cannot make yourself better and succeed. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.